What's going on, everyone? Welcome to RabidMining YouTube channel. And as we know, crypto is crashing. So I wanted to try an experiment here. I need to try to make this Octominer X8 a little more efficient, because as crypto miners, we got to cut some costs, and our largest cost is our power consumption. So if I can make that a little more efficient, that's just a bonus. All right, guys, so here is my plan. As you know, the Octominer X8, it does come with 4 750 watt server power supplies. They're platinum rated, so 94%. Now that peak efficiency is at the 50% mark of these power supplies, and currently, based on numbers in Hive OS, I'm only at about 20% of each server power supply. So if I pull 2 of these out and only run 2 of 4, I should be in that peak efficiency range, and I should drop some power at the wall by utilizing this rig that way. Also, it does take anywhere from 10 to 20 watts depending on this power supply just at an idle to power these power supplies by alone. So I should drop 20 to 30 watts potentially, in theory, just by pulling them out in the first place, and then I'll have the other 2 running at their peak efficiency. Now it does depend what cards and everything you are running. Obviously, if you're running this full of 3090s, you're going to need all your power supplies, but I'm not. And we're going to look at some numbers to see how this works. But first, we got to see what our power draw is at the wall. So it is jumping around a little bit, but we're going to get a quick high and a low here. So we can see 3790, 3786 to potentially 38 on the peak. But we're hanging out majority of the time around the 37 mid 90 range. So we're going to shoot for 3795 and just see if we notice a difference at the wall. So I don't know if this is 100% going to work or do anything at all, but you know, it's a test. I figured I'd share it. Let's see what some results are. Also, you know, I'm going to be looking into something later on. Let's take a look in here. And this is the spare bathroom. It's never really used, but I got the Jazz Miner in here. It's got its own little exhaust fan. Doesn't use much heat. More on this in a different video, but I figured I'd quickly share that. So here I am inside of this Octominer X8. We can see we're using a power consumption of 877 watts. So that's just slightly above one single server power supply. So the Octominer, you know, it's like a smart rig server or dealio, and it is equally distributing, I guess, the power at about 218 to 225 watts across the other 4 power supplies. So in theory, if I remove 2 of these, I'll be fairly close to the 50% mark on those 2 other server power supplies. The ideal number I do want is about 375 watts, and I will be around the 420 watt range. So fairly close, slightly above it, but you know, you can't get it identically right on, but you do want to try to get as close to that efficiency number as you possibly can. So here is the ratings on these HP server power supplies for the 750 watts anyway, and we can see 50% here is 94% efficiency, 100% is 91%, and 20%, which is around where I'm at right now, is the lowest at 90%. So in theory, dropping those 2 power supplies, moving it as close to this 50% range as I possibly can, should grant me an extra 4% in efficiency. Now, it's not going to be that much. I'm hoping I do gain a little bit more because I do remove those other power supplies. But again, we're not going to know if this even does anything till we try this out. Now, the Octominers are supposed to be hot swappable. What that means is you can, while it's running, remove the power supplies, insert new ones if something goes down or breaks or something, and have no issues. Now, if something gets snagged or stuck, or you're wiggling it too much and it doesn't quite want to come out or something, you could probably see some, you know, sparking and something bad. So I'm not even going to deal with that. I don't want to accidentally break anything. I'm just going to shut this thing down and remove those power supplies. So we're going to go to shutdown, confirm. Now let's pull those out and see if anything happens. So it is kind of hard to get some light in here, so I apologize for that. It's a little dark, but I got the power cables taken off the 2 top ones here. Now to remove these, you simply just hit the handle, push it in, and then give it a couple yanks, and it will slowly pull out. So here is one, and then the second one. Okay, we've yanked this one out. So that is 2 power supplies of 4 out. So in theory, we should only be running off those 2. Again, it's a smart case or dealio here, and it will distribute the power evenly across those 2. So we should be within the 50% mark, or at least very close to it, on those 2 server power supplies, and we should see less power at the wall because of it. So let's see if this even made a difference. Guess we better hit the button, get some power going. And we have life. Are those old 2 power supplies. So it got a little loud because the fans kick in fairly fast when it first boots up. I'm gonna let this thing engage, start mining for a little bit, and then we'll look at our power. So we're fired back up. We can see we're getting shares and everything on Team Red as well as T-Rex here. And if I go to my power consumption, it is only displaying 2 power supplies at this point in time. One at 428 watts and the other at 447. So let's go to the wall and see if we saved anything in terms of power. So we're at the 37, 87, 37, 90s, 85, 81, 75. So it looks like we did save about 10 to potentially 15 watts in power here. So it did work. We are seeing less power at the wall now, 10 to 15 watts. Maybe it was 20, you know, I'd have to do the numbers later on and compare it. But, you know, at least 10 to 15 watts from pulling those 2 server power supplies out. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but if you have 10 of these, you know, that's ultimately 120 watts. It all also depends on the GPUs you're running. Obviously, if you're using a lot higher powered, like these are 5700 XTs, a couple A2000s, and what is in there? 5600 XT as well. So stuff that doesn't use too much power. So I don't need all the power supplies to run to get them to 50%. Now, if you're running 3090s, you're going to need all your power supplies. Probably same thing with all 3080s. But, you know, just a tip, try to get your power supplies as close to the 50% mark as possible to save a little bit of power at the wall. That is your largest expense as a crypto miner. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out. Thank you for watching my video, and if you haven't seen one of these, be sure to check them out. And if you already seen them, maybe you missed some, might have to watch it one more time. And if you just let it play in the background, that's all right as well. I do try to live stream every weekend as well as every couple days during the week, so be sure to be subscribed so you don't miss that. As always, have a great day.